When you bundle your renters and auto insurance with Progressive, you could save money, but it doesn't cover any terrible memories living rent-free in your head.
Hey, just wanted to remind you of that time your kicker missed the extra point and lost the game. Even though he'd literally never missed an extra point, he chose this playoff game to miss. Yeah, I just noticed you hadn't thought about that in a bit. Wouldn't want you to miss, thinking about it.
Sorry, we can't save you from that memory, but we could save you money bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Renters insurance and bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Today's episode is brought to you by my ongoing partnership with the City of Hilliard and the Unscripted podcast. I'm so honored to have that partnership and to put a spotlight and highlight on businesses and economic development in our city. Today's guest was one of the people most responsible for bringing the Center Street Market and Crooked Can to Old Hilliard. Today's guest is Jon St. Julian of the Crooked Can and Center Street Market.
Welcome to the Unscripted podcast with Aaron Conrad. My name is Corby LaCroix. We're so happy to have you along for the ride today. At Unscripted, the stories are yours. We just click record. And now, recording from his studio at the Junction in Old Hilliard, here's your host and my friend, Aaron Conrad.
All right, everybody, welcome to Unscripted, and a lot of firsts today. This is really cool. We are recording, and as I always say, from my studios here at the Junction in Old Hilliard, and we are actually at the Junction in Old Hilliard. This is really cool.
It's awesome.
And we're looking face to face.
Yeah.
This is the first time in 120 episodes I've ever done a live recording.
I'm glad to be here.
Here we are. Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and we will go from there.
Yeah, I'm Jon St. Julian. I'm partners at the Crooked Can Brewing Company in Old Hilliard in the Center Street Market.
There it is. Yeah. Here we are.
Yeah.
So we actually had to re-record because we did a Zoom and it just didn't work out, and here we are.
Yeah.
And
on
a
Saturday. Yeah.
On a
great.
Saturday, and we're in the heart of Old Hilliard, which is so cool. We could. If there wasn't a building right there, I could see the Crooked Can from our location right now.
Yep.
So this is very cool, man. It's very exciting. So let's go back to the very beginning.
Okay.
The Crooked Can. Why don't you tell us the story?
Yeah. So my partner, Rob Fry, and myself take a trip to Florida every year. And, Rob and I are college buddies. We met in Toledo. And one of Rob's childhood friends lives down in Orlando. Well, I go to Orlando every year for business, and Rob tags along with me a lot of years because why not? And Andy, one of our partners now, kind of had this concept in Winter Garden, Florida. And we would always go see Andy, and we don't get to see him a lot because he lives in Orlando. And he had this thriving market in this brewery and him and his group down there. So we started talking about it, and Andy's an Ohio guy. And he said, man, this would fit really well. And, we were just talking, having a couple beers, getting something to eat. And the next year we go down, and, Rob's wife went down, and my wife goes down time to time. And, wow, this is a really neat concept. It's all about location, right? Mm-hmm. So we talk about it some more. And then we get together, and long story short, we should really look at this in Central Ohio somewhere. And so that being said, we start talking more frequently, trying to get a plan of attack on this, and pitched it to a couple different communities around Central Ohio, and landed in Old Hilliard. And getting into Old Hilliard was not the easiest process, but we had already picked a location outside of Hilliard because Hilliard loved the concept, and so did the others, but it just didn't. Hilliard didn't have a good spot. Mm-hmm. And then when they came back and said, "Do you know where the old Napa building is?"
That's right.
And we said, "Yeah." And I said, "Absolutely. Do you need to see it?" We were like, "Not really. We know it. We just need how big's a lot and this and that." Because then we had to redesign and fit it into. We used every square inch of that property, but it worked absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I'm old enough to remember when there was a Napa Auto Parts there, and it was just kind of downtown. But there's been a lot of changes over the years, with First Responders Park, and then there's a splash pad. But you could start to see this transformation that I don't know if any of us. I mean, I think people probably on the inside probably knew, okay, this is what the bigger picture looks like. Right. But for me as a resident driving through Old Hilliard, you kind of see these things, and at the time they're almost individual, but then when you see the whole thing come together, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it is the lifeblood of Old Hilliard. It's so cool for me to see. Anytime, matter of fact, last night we were driving through Old Hilliard. I looked over to my left. You'll have fire pits now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in the summer it's vibrant, it's packed. There's kids at the splash pad. There's the patio area is packed. It's just such a cool concept and perfect for Old Hilliard. It is such a draw. It's so awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate that. It's you try to think of everything when you're going through this and stay on budget. At the same time, which we didn't. And
who does, right?
Yeah, and you know how that goes.
Absolutely.
But we wanted it to be just that. We wanted it to be a community place, a gathering spot for the community. It doesn't matter if you're 8 months old or 80 years old, and we see it all and we love it. And that was the vision. And when you see it, I think I told you off air that, it kind of makes my hair stand up on my arms when I see the strollers and the kids running around in the little play area we have. And then the group of 30-somethings coming in to watch a game. And it's just very, it came to life. And that's kind of what our vision was. And it's good to see the support.
It's amazing. So, and we'll talk about the Center Street Market in a minute, but I was thinking about this morning, there had to be times when it was like Field of Dreams for you. Yeah. Because you all launched in a pandemic, and so we'll talk about that in a second. Mm-hmm. Like, it had to be times where you saw the vision, you knew what this could become, but at times you were probably like, oh, man.
This project was started well before the pandemic, and, who could have saw that coming? Mm-hmm. And we opened February 8th of 2020. A soft opening. So it was a chance for our staff to get comfortable, the community come check it out. We would open from, say, like 4 to 8 on a weekday or on a weekend. And we weren't open. The market was not open yet. We had a kind of a screen up. They were still under construction. And that was February 8th. So we're learning it. The staff is getting comfortable. The community comes out and just supports the heck out of it and trying to peek behind the curtain to see the market, which it was great. And we take people on little tours back there to show them what's coming. And then March 15th hits. Yeah. That was a Sunday. We remember it like it was yesterday. And, Rob and myself and our wives, we went up to the brewery on Sunday night and literally had to let everybody know that they shut us down, and they essentially don't have jobs. We had to lay them off until we figured out what was going to happen. A lot of sleepless nights wondering, what's going to happen with this new project we were so proud of, and we felt the community was glad to have us. And then this happens, and, we haven't made $1 yet. Yeah. And, it was a lot of soul searching and just trying to figure out how we're going to get through this.
So, you guys opened in the middle of a time when none of us were planning or, as you said, anticipated what was coming. Right. And yet, as you said, the community surrounded and supported, which made it possible. Can you imagine if that wouldn't have happened, what may have never been? Right. I thought about that this morning, thinking of what we see today versus what could have been a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. Yeah. So the community was awesome, as they always are.
They were. And every time we all get a chance, that's the first people we thank is our community. Mm-hmm. We were very blessed with their support. Yeah. And a funny story, you talk about the Field of Dreams, mm-hmm. When we were shut down and we didn't know what to do, but we got on it. We got together as a group. So our families, our Rob and I, our wives, our neighbors, our kids, we were allowed to do carry out, right? Mm-hmm. We're like, okay, how's this going to go? Right. And everything else was closed. We could do carry out. So we did it 3 nights a week, let's say from 4 to 7 or something like that. Mm-hmm. We're filling up growlers. We're doing crawlers. We're doing the POS. And we had to learn all this. And we knew it enough, but we don't do it every day, right? Our staff was doing it. And first day, a line out the door. Wow. And, it almost brings tears to your eyes seeing that, like, we're so glad you're here. We want you to get through this. Whether they needed beer or not, they would come in and support us. Yeah. And, the local neighborhoods, groups of people would walk down the bike trail in the cold, and with their backpacks and just try to keep the lights on.
Man.
And it was very, very touching to see that from the community.
We all love this community, and we want to see it thrive and grow. And so much so that you work with, as you were building the Center Street Market and this facility, you worked with a lot of local companies.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that was a big goal of ours as a group. Everything we could supply locally, we did, from our tables to our bar tops to our table legs to our flight holder. Anything we could source locally, we did, and that's very important to us. And even with our merchandise and other things, we try to do that as much as we can. There's a few things you can't get locally, but even our hops and our grains, we try to use Ohio companies at least to source some of that. So that's a very and when we talk about the market a little bit more, it is a local community business and people.
Yep.
So no national brands, all local artisans, and that's very important to us.
And it's perfect. It really is. It's special. And when I was looking at my business and where it wanted to be, there's nowhere else because of all the things that you said. We all kind of link arms, and you've been very supportive of me, and I appreciate that.
You do a lot of great things, so
I'm trying.
There'll be more support. So,
Absolutely, yeah. We're just getting started. We're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the market because it is special. As you were saying, it's very cool, and let's talk about the market.
Yeah, the market's a local artisan market, and all local small businesses. We have everything from Asian with dumplings of fury to Italian meatball mafia, two desserts, Cheesecake Girl and Bakes by Lo, which is phenomenal. We have Greek with the Pete Abilities. Al's Delicious Popcorn is in there. Coffee Connections, which is an awesome partner to have as well in there. They're local and as well. And then Two Step Tacos, which is a part of Legacy. Mm-hmm. So we have one more coming in this winter. We had to slow down a little bit. They had to slow down the building process. It was COVID. Mm-hmm. So there's one slot left, but it's been full. So the construction process is going to start any day now.
You can't break that news on Unscripted.
Yeah.
Not yet.
All
right. We'll wait.
I could, but I want to be,
That's fine.
Yeah.
Fine. No, it's all good. It's so exciting because you walk in, and I guess if you're hearing this and you've never been there, you got to go. You just got to go. I mean, you have to experience, and it's so cool when you walk in and you just see friends and family, especially for, my wife and I, our family's been here now for 20 plus years, and you walk in and you see someone you were on a baseball team with, or someone, your daughter had swimming with, or someone that you used to live next door to. You can't walk in there, I don't think, and not run into someone from town. It's really, really special. And then, you all make it special with a lot of different things that happen. So, like I said, we're transitioning now, mm-hmm. But during COVID, what was special was it was outside. So you had the Dora, you could sit outside. Mm-hmm. A lot of those concerns were really cool. In the summer, everybody could sit outside, do their thing. Well, now we're transitioning into winter, but you guys have already started some things to keep people coming down. You got the Buckeye games. Yeah. What was it? A couple weeks ago, you did a puzzle thing.
Yeah, we did.
What was that?
We had there's an Ohio craft beer puzzle. So to keep the community involved, and we just shot it out there. Hey, let's have a puzzle contest. Whoever can put this puzzle together the quickest, and it's teams of 4, right? Mm-hmm. It filled up like that, and people came and did a puzzle all night, and I had a good time, and just little things like that. We have a pump or a spice weekend coming up here shortly, and this will probably air after that, but just things like that. Mm-hmm. And, even our Serendipity is a little store in there, and she's great. She does, along with the food, she's like a boutique in there, and she does a lot of cool things to support whatever we got going on. And it's just, it's all walk-up service. It's very casual. You can go in there with 15 people, friends, family, or whoever, and you all scatter, you know, and you come back and you're trying each other's stuff. And it's kind of a neat little layout. Yeah.
It's such a cool concept because, and as you mentioned it, there's laminated cards on the tables, and there's a QR code. And I know I was there one night meeting a friend, and we ordered up a pizza from our phones. We never left the table. I just walked over to pick it up at some point, but just scan the QR code. I guess the word I can think of is chill, which is probably the word that most of kids use today, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just old school, but it's chill.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's a non-intimidating, not an intimidating atmosphere. So.
All right, so let's talk about, because you mentioned pumpkin. I think is there a pumpkin beer now? Or a harvest beer? Or something?
Yeah, we have a pumpkin beer. I don't know if there's any left, but yeah, we do a lot of seasonal stuff. But yeah, there was a pumpkin stout there, and so
what is the brewing process?
So I'm the wrong person to ask that, but I know enough to be dangerous. But yeah, I know the process. But so the grain outside is a working grain. There's grain in it, and we have a 15 barrel brewing system, and that's the 3 shorter tanks you see. That's the brewery, right? And then you have fermenters. So you run your batch, whatever you're making, through the brewing process. That takes 4 to 5 hours, and then you fill your fermenters up. And depending on what's in those fermenters, depending on what type of beer you're making, it sits in there at different temperatures for different periods of time, anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, depending on what you're making. And then our head brewer, Zach Knoll, is amazing. He's an artist himself, and ironically, he's a Hilliard Darby grad.
That's awesome.
And he came to us by way of North High Brewing Company for 7 years, and so there's another connection, right? Mm-hmm. Another local connection, and he's phenomenal at what he does. And then we just, after it ferments, it goes into the bright tanks, that's where it finishes out, and it's carbonated, and then we keg it and put it in the cooler so we can serve it.
It's amazing. Yeah. So if somebody wanted
There's a lot more to it than that. But
sure,
yeah.
Right. If somebody wanted a tour, could they come by and get a tour?
Absolutely. Now that the restrictions are going away a little bit, we're cognizant of that. We don't want too many big groups together back there, but they can call in or hit our info page on our website, and we did a small tour last night. It was a Friday, so a small business came in. They wanted to show their employees around. So, we did that last night. So we are doing that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And again, you all have been a great partner for me personally. And again, as you said, we don't know when this will air, but we do know on November 6th, we're going to have a special night with a friend of mine. That's someone that a lot of people will probably recognize. And you all were like, absolutely, whatever you need. And it's pretty exciting to know that we can work together. And again, it just brings hopefully people,
and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's all about. To bring light on what you're doing for him, with him. Mm-hmm. And then also, we love to support as much as we can. You can't do everything, but you support what you can. And then you really look at the cause as well,
And there's space within the facility. So is there other things that you also, if somebody's listening to this, I assume you would host parties or things like that. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you if they want to do that?
Yeah, it's info@crookedcanohio.com.
Okay.
Our social media sites, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Center Street Market and Crooked Can, Ohio. So we put a lot of it on social media, or they can reach out to us directly on our info page at our website.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this, and we can't say who it is just yet, but what's next? What's next for Crooked Can? So we're getting ready to go into the winter. What does winter look like at Crooked Can Center?
We're currently working on that now, but last winter we did pictures with Santa. It's amazing how we utilize the outside space as much as we can, unless there's just 5 inches of snow on the ground. And you have the fire pit on. The kids came out and got their pictures with Santa. And last year it was social distancing Santa, so we had him in the walk-up window behind the slider, and the kids' bench was set up in front of it so we could keep them distanced. So we'll do some more stuff like that this winter. We have we're doing something with the Humane Society coming up here soon. Dress up your dog for Halloween.
Nice.
Just a lot of different fun stuff that we come up with as a group, and try to get the community and the kids involved as much as we can.
It's so cool. And I want to circle back to it because you and I talked offline. We've talked a few times now. One, again, I want to thank you for all your support of everything that I've been doing. But, you and I were talking offline, and it's really amazing to see a dream come to reality. And I think that's what's special about Hilliard and why people choose Hilliard is because this is a place where people will rally behind you. Yeah. You said it during a pandemic, they rallied and they wanted to see this come true. And now we see the benefits of all of that, because on Thursday night you drive by and the place is just packed and people are having fun and they're seeing their neighbors. As you said, you can bring your dog, right? It's strollers, kids playing on the, in the summer, they're playing at the splash pad while mom and dad are, close by. It's just it's really, really special. And I'm so glad that you all made it out of that launch period when you did, because I honestly, it's changed the landscape for Old Hilliard.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. And, like we talked before, without the city support as we were building it, with Michelle and John and David Meadows, and obviously the chamber, that's really important to us in business in Hilliard.
Absolutely.
Libby does an awesome job there. The Parks and Rec and Kristen and their group, it's such a synergy with all of them. And all we want to do is help each other out and do what we can do and give what we can to help better this whole area, the whole community, and not just Old Hilliard, but the whole community. Right. And the more people and the more families that come down this way to enjoy what's down here, the better for everybody. Right. We truly believe that.
Those rising tides really do lift all boats in Old Hilliard. And location-wise, just in case somebody's not familiar, Main Street, just off of Main Street, not far from the bike path. Right. So the bike path is right down here.
It basically dumps into our patio.
Right. Yeah. So you could go out for a walk with the family, go for a bike ride, go for a run. I saw a lot of people running on my way in this morning. Because it's a good morning to run. Yeah. And you all have had the benefit of some extended fall, pretty good weather.
Yeah, so we've been blessed with that, and you talked running. We do a running club on Wednesday nights where they meet on our patio and they utilize the trail, and it's been great. So you can bike, walk, run, drive. Obviously, there's plenty of parking, and Hilliard's continues to do a good job to find more parking down in Old Hilliard. So it's going to keep evolving, and the more traffic and the more. I just love seeing people out. Yeah. It's just so cool to see in any community. It's just seeing them enjoying what's out there, and I think that's really special that what we have down here. Yeah.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
You and I have talked multiple times. I'm looking forward to the future and what it holds for both of us, and both of us together, working together in different ways. But I'm certainly glad you're here. And there's not a time I don't drive through Old Hilliard and look over to my left and see a ton of people over there that my heart just doesn't get, just full. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just a guy that loves to see community and loves to see people interacting and people being together. And every time I drive through, and last night was no different when I looked over and saw a fire pit. I'm like, they have a fire pit. That's so cool. Yeah. Just understanding the concept and people being around that fire pit. I have two friends that work at the Crooked Can, and they both love their job. They love, being in Old Hilliard and working for you.
Yeah, it's really great because, like you, I'm a 20-year Hilliard resident. Our kids went through Hilliard schools, and one currently in it, two are out. And my oldest son and his wife, they man, I wish this was here when we were younger. Now they live in Hilliard again, so they can enjoy it, and it's just. You really appreciate that community feel, like you being a resident. It just makes your heart warm, I guess.
Absolutely.
To see. So,
all right. So let's run through the links real quick again. If they want to contact you for a birthday party or any kind of gathering, which I would recommend again, and I'll say that really quick again. The beauty of the layout and the way it's made, and you touched on it too, is that if I can go in and everybody can kind of pick whatever they have a taste for. Yep. That way I don't have to pick one menu that somebody's not going to like. They can go in and pick whatever they want, and everybody just gathers back together again. So if somebody wants to reach out for an event or something at the Crooked Can or at the market, what's the best place to do that?
Yeah, it's info@crookedcanohio.com.
Info@crookedcanohio.com.
And that goes right to the person who calls and schedules the events. We have our event space is you can shut it off so it's its own room. It's got its own bar, its own restrooms, its own AV system. So corporate parties, Christmas, holiday parties. We've had a small wedding in there. We've had some really cool stuff. Yeah, baby showers. Class reunions. So it's just it's a fun little room. And in the summer months, you can extend it out to the patio as well, and we'll block a little of the patio off. Okay,
so email the address, website again?
www.crookedcanohio.com.
And then the socials.
Crooked Can Ohio, and Center Street Market.
Center Street Market.
Yep.
I wasn't aware that there was a Center Street Market.
There is.
You let me know.
Yeah.
That. So now I tagged them on everything as well.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and that's on Twitter, Instagram,
and Facebook.
Yep. There you go.
And soon to be TikTok.
Are you guys going to do TikTok?
Yeah, we are. We're gonna dabble in it.
I'm dying.
We have a young employee who's very, very good and intelligent, and he's just a great kid, and he wants to dive into it a little bit. Obviously, we will monitor it, but he has a vision, just to show the fun and the people who watch TikTok. So,
well, I lose hours and hours on TikTok. Unfortunately, I'm embarrassed to say how many hours I can lose on TikTok.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, and there's a few people that work for you that I'd love to see on some TikToks. Having a good
get
time.
them on there.
So there you go.
I know who they.
Well, this has been great, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for believing in Hilliard, for choosing Hilliard for this location, because it's been a game changer. In my opinion, it's been a game changer. It's changed the landscape, and it's really brought excitement and a vibrance and a community together. It's really special. It really is. And for you, it has to be very special to see it all come together.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate everything you do for the community and the local businesses and families. It's just, you're doing really good things, and we appreciate that, and glad to have the connection.
Absolutely. Well, we're just getting started.
Yeah.
You know that.
You got it.
We'll talk about that offline too. But, well, we're just getting started. So thank you so much for your time today, and we look forward to doing more.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Thanks again for joining us for another episode of the Unscripted Podcast with your host, Aaron Conrad, from his studio at the Junction in Old Hilliard. And make sure to like, share, follow, and review on your favorite podcast platforms. Remember, the stories are yours. He just clicks record. We'll see you next time on Unscripted with Aaron Conrad.